Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Comic Book Users. Welcome to another episode of Inside the Cover. The band's back together.
Hey, comic book fans, welcome back to another episode of Inside the Cover. We're going to go inside DC Comics, The Flash, today. Going to go inside issue number 267, dated November 1978. This is the first Flash I bought off the rack. I like how he's on fire. Heatwave is the
big villain here.
Arch villain, nemesis, but I didn't know it at the time when I was 13 when I bought this. But anyway.
Nick Rory, right?
So, in the previous issue, Heatwave has zapped some of his fire weapon onto the Flash, and of course he's on fire like the Human Torch.
His molten heat.
Yeah, he's running around like a comet, you know, man on fire. So, Heatwave, in the previous issue, had rendered and captured the Flash, knocked him unconscious from this event. And you'll see this little igloo mansion house, which is Alec Norton, who was a famous Arctic explorer. It's his mansion. And this man has a freeze capsule. And Alec has himself frozen because he has some incurable disease. Kind of like Walt Disney frozen himself so that in future time, if there's a cure, he can be reanimated and operated on and saved. So Heatwave knows about this device in this mansion. And, of course, you'll notice that the Flash is unmasked.
Oops.
Yep. Oops. I flip back to page 1. So you'll notice up here in the corner there, that corner panel, he's unmasked. And Heatwave, I recognize that guy. He's got a familiar face, but I have no clue who he is.
Now, meanwhile, most villains of any big hero, if they saw the hero
face
unmasked, it would be a major, major deal. Here, it's just kind of...
So it is. So he sees his face, but can't place it, and moves on. Well, yeah. I'm going to do my dirty, dastardly deeds. And so he swaps out the bodies of Alec Norton,
Alden Norton.
Alden. The Explorer. He swaps bodies and puts the Flash's body in there, hoping that the Flash dies, that no one finds him to reanimate him or revive him in time. So the guy breaks out a camera to record this event because he knows in the future he's going to be dead. So he wants to record in history that he's the one responsible for the death of the Flash.
Yep.
So he, of course, records his message. Leaves the Flash in the death trap, as the villains always do. He's paralyzed. He's unconscious. He kind of comes out of it because he's been frozen, you know. And in this, what do you call this, cryogenic tube, right? So he's in this frozen state of animation, and he's starting to come out of it, and he can't move his body because he's still like frozen stiff, but he can vibrate. And of course, the vibrations lead to a mini earthquake. And the tube falls over, the Flash gets out, he warms up, of course, in the bottom panel, he's finally running for it, he breaks free. And, of course, he's running through the mansion, looking for Heatwave. He's got to save a couple servants, you know, our hero. Damn you,
good old
Heatwave.
Barry Allen, right? Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Let's do another... This is later on after he saves these people. Now, meanwhile, the mansion caved in. So Heatwave, it just assumes that Flash is dead from the implosion and the wreckage. So this other panel here, there's this young kid who's like a neighbor, friends with Barry Allen. And he wants to come over and hang out and spend some time with him. And the wife, Iris, is like, he's busy with his hobby right now. He can't be disturbed. And so the kid, being nosy, sees there's a window open. He decides to peek in there, and what is Barry Allen doing? What's he doing?
Nothing on that page.
This is the window.
Yeah,
am I building up suspense? Let's go to this Batman ad. For Hostess Fruit Pies. We've talked about them, Kirk and I.
Yep.
Wouldn't you know it? More comic book ads. I have that Justice League, by the way. I got that one. Bought that off the rack. So the kid looks in, and guess what? Barry Allen's a comic book collector. And one of his comics is The Flash, the old original Flash.
Look at that.
The kid's like, by golly, I hope he invites me to come over and hang out and do comic books. Share his hobby with me
Barry Allen's even cooler than I thought.
Yeah, right? Damn. Comic book collector. So now, back to The Flash wanting to get back into action and go after the Heatwave guy. So he's flipping through town like a hot comet. And of course, he catches up with Heatwave. Blows are exchanged, but Heatwave goes for his weapon, right? I get you, Flash. Right. Great centerfold ad.
There you go.
Right? Marvel had Doctor Doom. DC's got
the Joker.
I think they didn't own them.
Selling
The Penguin.
milk duds. Yeah, I don't remember.
So, Heatwave zaps the Flash, and it turns him into like a burning comet. Fire, and his molecules are vibrating so fast he can't put the fire out, and he starts taking off into space uncontrollably. And he's so hot that he vibrates his body. He keeps vibrating his molecular structure so fast that he goes from fire to light. And he's trying to change his trajectory so he can hit this satellite in the form of light, so that he can reflect himself back to Earth. Because if he misses this satellite, he's going to just continue off into space.
Off into the cosmos.
Yeah, because he can't. In this form, he can't change direction. So in these two panels, I was saying to people before we taped, this is comic book history of answering the question that Flash can travel at the speed of light, because he's vibrating so fast, and it works. Lo and behold, here he comes back to Earth. Now it's weird how he starts to switch back and slow down from light to human form. How convenient, DC Comics. I commemorate your efforts. That's real comic book stuff at its best. So of course he comes back to Earth, gets his shit together, and whips up on Heatwave, and that saves the day.
Yay.
You know? Then he goes back to his dreaming about his comic book collection. Fucking awesome.
Because what's the most important thing, right?
The comic book collection. You had to get back. Fucking awesome stuff, man.
Yeah.
So the end. There is extra stuff. This is, you can't see, this is one of the 50-cent issues when Marvel was still 35, and that only lasted for 3 months. So this was an extra jam-packed stuff. So you get more ads for your buck.
Of course.
And you get more stories. What could be better than the origin of Flash's uniform? So it's weird. They don't really tell you. I'll show you, though. So Flash knew this tailor. And so he goes to him. And this guy obviously knows his secret identity. And I guess this tailor is the one that came up with the idea, the invention that the fabric could expand with air. But this guy gets in trouble, the tailor. So, of course, Barry Allen, they're talking on the phone. And meanwhile, some thugs show up at this tailor's house. How convenient. Barry Allen playing ping pong by himself to show off his power. You know? But basically, the premise of the ring, it expands on contact with the air, or contracts depending on how he hits the direction button of the ring. So he can change into uniform. Yeah, he can't use it as a Superman phone booth story, because there's never a phone booth around. Now, today's cell phones, but this was before cell phones, obviously. So, of course, Flash has to show up and take control over these goons that are beating up on the tailor. But I read this, and it's like, I didn't absorb a damn thing about the origin of this fucking uniform. There's no scientific explanation, really, behind.
Doesn't make sense, doesn't really compute.
No. That's why I wanted to skip it entirely, but you guys have been cheated to see just like how thick this comic is.
Yes.
Like, we got all kinds of stuff. We got ads. Look, back in the day, in the late 70s, they started promoting models without glue. Just snapped together. Snap together, fall apart real quick, too, I bet.
Even the other ones fell apart pretty easily, too.
Yes, the glue never worked. But there you have it. And this is, I've talked about this in the past. My good friend, my next door neighbor, when I was like 14, I let him borrow my comics. He just moved in. I knew him for like about a month, and this is how I got it back. This originally did have the 50-cent price and the number 267 on it. But yeah, I bought this book in August of '78, right off the stands. The first Flash book in my collection. So it's a personal holy grail.
Chris was hungry one day and he just...
I don't know how he ripped it, but he did. And then he blames it on youth, which was fine. I got over it. I was hurt back then, man. I was like, ah.
Come on, Billy. I was a kid. Come on.
Yeah. But dude, that's a serious rip over there.
Yeah,
not a curved corner. Curved corner I could deal with, but this is a chunk, dude. So if somebody stepped on that and ripped it or some shit. I don't know.
Either that or he was sitting
He
there.
doesn't even tell you, man, how it happened.
He probably doesn't remember. He was probably reading at the kitchen
knows.
table and his mother grabbed it out of his hand and he would happen to be holding onto the corner and whoop, there it goes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he never explained.
No.
Anyway.
It's pretty insignificant to him, but to you, you've been carrying it for decades.
Yeah.
Now, right?
You guys up for anything else insignificant? By any chance? I'll give you a little treat. Speaking of insignificant, about an insignificant piece of art.
There we go.
Yeah. Oops, I digress.
Issue number 52. It's another issue of Tales of Shar.
We got Monster Magician Mayhem.
Triple M. Disapproval code. That's pretty
There you
cool.
go. Check that out for your
nice
approval.
and colorful, huh?
Yes.
Look at that.
I added. I want to see. We got a moon, an orange moon. That's
Yeah.
not the sun.
Very cool.
He's got like his Merlin hat.
Ooh.
Cousins of Nosferatu, perhaps.
It could be.
I don't know. Part Nosferatu, part Fiend. He's got a little magic pouch.
He's a monster. He's a magician.
He's got a little magic pouch.
There you go.
This is his magic belt, his sash.
Yep.
Yeah.
So is his name Mayhem or is he?
No, he's just a monster. He's just a magician,
a monstrous magician.
I guess an evil warlock.
There you go. That could be.
Could be Tales of Shar.
There you go. Issue number 52. Very nice.
There you have it.
Good job.
Wild Bill's the artist. That'd be me. So thank you for being here. Please click the like button if you like Comic Book Geezers. Thank you for your support. And as always, thanks for coming back to see more of Comic Book Geezers. We'll be back next time with more Inside the Cover.
Yep.
Of what? We don't know.
Till then, for Wild
see
Bill,
ya.
I'm Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you later. Bye.